What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your man Chaz Ellis once again answering the questions that you asked me. Make sure you go to the ChazEllisProject.com, get a consultation, a quick question, and check out some of the live streams that I have in the archive section. I'm putting up some new ones here, so make sure you keep checking back and see if there's any ones that you want to see. Also, I'm doing profile reviews for people with dating profiles, Facebook, whatever. So check those out too. Also, check me out on askchazzellis on Facebook. Anyway, the question that I got was actually coming from a lot of people, and what I get from people is what to do after they're breaking up with somebody or after somebody breaks up with them. A lot of times, that period of time when that day, 2 days, 3 days, week, sometimes that real emotional period. People are always asking me what they should do during that time period and what they shouldn't do. And people are always telling me about things that they've done, and I end up having to try to help them after the fact. So what I did was I basically came up with 3 things not to do right after a breakup. Okay, so we're just gonna go right into it. Number 1, don't try to make contact with them or their loved ones. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Because when you look crazy, then we all go through it. Make sure you do not try to make contact with them or their loved ones. Why? Because you are in an emotional state. Whether they broke up with you or you broke up with them, a lot of times you are in an emotional state and you're going through ups and downs. You're going on the roller coaster. Okay, so you might feel happy one day, smiles and everything. You might be texting them, hitting them up. Hey, just to let you know, I'm cool with everything the way it turned out, and then the next day or the next 5 minutes, you might be sad, depressed, angry. You might go through all of that at once, and you might just be putting that in because you're contacting them, because you started contacting them, you're going through those emotions with them. Look, the way you left me was wrong, and I hope you die and burn in hell. No, I didn't mean that. You're coming back and you're sounding crazy. Some of y'all are reliving this right now because you might have already went through it. But what happens is you go on that emotional roller coaster, and a lot of times you go on it through text message, phone calls, Facebook messages. A lot of times they don't even respond to you, so it makes you go even further with it. Then you reach out and start contacting family members and friends and stuff like that, trying to plead your case or just trying to have somebody you can vent to and see what's going on. And a lot of times when you contact those people, because you're so emotional, you come out looking crazy. You got to remember, you may not care about that now, but 6 months from now when you're no longer emotional, a year from now when you're no longer emotional, you still got to live with all the things you said to that person, all the things you did when you contacted them and their family members, their friends, all of that, those stares you might get when you see people out in public. You still got to live with that when you're no longer emotional. So take your time, take at least a week or two. Whenever you get your emotions settled and you know what you think about the situation, you know how you want to feel. When you do that, then you can contact that person. But until then, chill. Don't do it because it's probably not going to turn out the way you want it to. And you just have to remember, you can't fix it. Okay? You might be saying stuff over and over again trying to fix it. You're not going to fix it. If a breakup has just happened, you're not going to fix it. If they come back, that's because they were going to anyway, no matter what you say. But the reality is you're not going to fix that situation. You're probably just going to make yourself feel worse. You might not make it worse, but you're going to make yourself feel worse. So chill for a little while. Number two thing not to do after a breakup is don't go out there and date right away. I'm not saying you can't ever date. I'm not saying you can't date within a reasonable amount of time. I'm saying until you know what you feel about this situation, you know whether or not you want to be back with this person, you know whether or not things are going to work out, or that you're ready to talk to somebody else or deal with somebody else. Don't go out there and start dating, because a lot of times what happens is you get with somebody, you might actually like this person, but because you're not ready, you end up just things with them fall apart. And then things with the other person, say you get back with your ex, right after you kind of squandered this relationship with the new person. Then things don't work out with your ex, and you try to get back with the new person. Well, you done messed that up trying to get back with your ex. So make sure you got yourself situated and you know what you want to do. You know what you're thinking next. You know what your next move is. You chill for a while, because sometimes you can ruin things with somebody. You might have broke up with them, and then you go right out there and start dating again, and now you got to deal with the consequences of that if you change your mind. So take some time out. Decide what you really want to do. Decide if this is right for you. If you really want to date somebody, create some boundaries for yourself that you know you can live with when you're not mad anymore. Because you might go out there like, I'm about to sleep with somebody else. I'm about to prove a point. And then you do this, and now you're like, man, I still love this other person. I still want to be back with them. I don't want to have to tell them this if we get back together. Take the time to really think about what you want to do next before you start making moves. Otherwise, you'll regret it. And number 3, this is a big one. Some people won't admit that they do this kind of thing. Some people don't, but a lot of people do. No revenge plots, okay? And I'm not saying this, I'm not trying to take no moral high ground on you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad if you've done that or if you thought about doing it. The reason why I'm saying no revenge plots is because right now you're emotional. You just broke up with somebody. They just broke up with you, whatever the case may be. You're upset, you're angry. You're frustrated, you're confused. They might not be talking to you right now. They might not be answering your text messages or phone calls. They may be ignoring you, which is making the frustration boil. But once you get these revenge plots going, you start doing this crap to hurt that person, you got to remember that's a road that you travel on that you can't just jump off of whenever you feel like it. Once you do these things, they've been done. There's no undoing. There's no time machine where you can go back and reverse anything you did. You got to live with it. You got to ride that out. You have to understand that now you're mad. Now you're emotional. Now you're angry. But 6 months from now, you're probably not going to feel that way. And now you're going to have to live with the consequences of anything you decide to do to that person. Anything. You might like them again. Worst case scenario a lot of times is when you do something like that to somebody, you go out of your way to hurt that person, then you get back together. But unfortunately, they ain't find out about it before. Okay, now a week, 3 weeks, 4 months after y'all get back together, something like that, they find out that you did this to them and they're pissed off and they don't want to be with you anymore. That's like worst case scenario. That happens. But where now you've ruined a relationship for something you did a long time ago. So take the time to think about what you're going to do. Think about why you're doing it and think about the long-term consequences before you start coming up with these revenge plots. Because you might be coming up with some revenge plots on your husband or wife. You don't know, okay? You don't know how things are going to work out. So be careful about those revenge plots. Once again, it's your man, Chaz Ellis. Leave something in the comment section below. Tell us a story about maybe when you might have done one of these things. Revenge plot or dating or contact. Give people some insight on what happened in your life. Also, if you think of another one that I didn't put on here, put that in the comment box below. Also, make sure you go to askchazzellisproject.com, get a consultation, a quick question. Make sure you like and subscribe also. Share this video with somebody else. Peace.